you're not making a dent when it comes to growing your audience on social media, I know it's so important that you want to have as many eyes on what it is that you have to offer because you're here to make an impact. But how can you do that when you feel like you're drowning on social media, when you feel like nobody's paying attention, when you feel like the algorithm is against you? So today I want to talk to you about strategies to audience growth. So stick around. Welcome to another week here on my channel. My name is Jen Johnson. I am your high performance Christian business coach. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. We welcome you as a community. And on this channel, I love helping coaches and content creators ditch burnout, clarify your message and offers so that you can go out there and attract your dream clients. So if you're not yet a subscriber, I'll give you a second to do that here. And let's get into audience building. Now, because with everything that we do, it all starts in the mind. Success starts in the mind. So I want to give you 2 mindset shifts that you may need to make so that you can step into audience building from a new perspective. The first mindset hack I want to give you is to stop thinking that you need to go viral. I tell you what would it look like for you to create a 5-figure month, a 6-figure a year business by literally working with 5 or 10 people? You don't have to go viral to make a massive impact. The key is to really go deep, not wide. Hone in on people you can really give your time and attention to, get them amazing results, which will create a ripple effect. If you've never heard of the article about having 1,000 true fans, that's really the goal here, is what would it look like to create 1,000 true diehard fans that would follow you to the ends of the earth, want to learn from you, want to grow from you, want to create results the way that you can teach them how to do that. That is the goal here. It's no longer about being a celebrity influencer. To be honest, brands are looking for people with quality viewers rather than puffed up social media profiles. The second mindset shift that you may need to make is you got to realize you have to be proactive. One thing I love that Russell Brunson says in his new book, Traffic Secrets, on the back of the book, it says, waiting for people to come to you is not a strategy. And I know you can look at top leaders and top earners and think, oh my gosh, they just, they put out an email and the floodgates open up. Now, but what did they have to do to get there? They had to be proactive. And still to this day, they get to be proactive. You get to get in with your people and listen and learn what they want so that you can deliver the best of the best, be on top of your game, know what's trending, all of that jazz. So don't think that you can just put out a piece of content and that's just gonna blow up your audience, because my friend, you got to get connected with your audience. I'll tell you, when I made these shifts, it opened up the floodgates for my business because I didn't have to stress or feel pressured about having such large viral accounts, because I was really able to hone in and identify who my dream clients were, work with them, and really create the income and lifestyle that followed suit with that. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do when it comes to growing not just a audience, but the right audience, is find your people. I know this sounds obvious, but let me explain to you what that looks like. When it comes to finding your people, you have to really think about where they are spending their time, where they are hanging out, so that you can actually connect with them. Get into the conversation where they are conversating. So that means groups, blogs, forums, podcasts. Where are they congregating to where you can actually show up, be of service, get in conversation, and start networking with those people? The key is you want to become the go-to wherever those people are hanging out. That doesn't mean you need to pitch them on what you're doing or make them offers 24/7. That means if you're looking to really get in front of the right people, that you're actually showing up where they are already at. Thinking that you have to build your audience on your own is really a misconception. The truth is, you already have your dream audiences congregating in certain areas on the interwebs. So why not just go to where they're already hanging out and invite them back to your space? So that means the second thing you get to do is engage with them, and you get to get into conversation with them, go into communities where they're already hanging out and be of service, be a contribution. This is where I see so often that people miss the boat is they're not going out and getting social within specific areas where people are already spending time. So people don't know you exist. They don't know what you're all about or how you can serve them. They don't get nosy about you and go check you out and see what you're up to and click on your website and go look at all you have to offer. So when you sit back and think, oh, if I just, join a group, maybe people will talk to me, that's not really going to do the trick. This is where you have to become proactive and make that decision. And yes, sometimes it can feel tedious. I totally hear you. Engaging with people can feel like a lot sometimes because there's so many people compared to just you giving all of them the attention that they deserve. But make it a goal. Set aside time every single day. I do something called a power hour, and I'll set aside a specific amount of time to get social on the platforms I like to hang out on, because over time, that really creates a compound effect, and that is totally what activates the algorithm. For those of you who actually really focus on what the algorithm does, here is the key that I'm going to tell you when it comes to the algorithm that you gotta realize. It's not about you engaging with people. What that means when you're engaging with people is that you're telling an algorithm that you wanna see more of their stuff. So really think about that. If you're engaging, you're actually telling the algorithm, oh, I liked and commented on so-and-so's post. That means I want to see more of their stuff. That does nothing for your engagement. If you really want to create engagement, that means you need to engage for engagement. Now, what does that look like? That means when you're engage with a purpose of getting people to engage back with you. Because until someone engages back with you, the algorithm will not be in your favor of creating people seeing your stuff. So let me say it again. You want to engage with people to get into a conversation and have them engaging back with you, because until they engage back with you, the algorithm will not know that they want to see more of your stuff. So this is where engagement gets to become really purposeful, so they know who you are and you're being a contribution and you're being of service with no place to get other than to really authentically say something of meaning and impact. This is why commenting with emojis and the most vague thing possible doesn't really lead anywhere. It's wasted energy, because ultimately all you're doing is letting the algorithm know, hey, I want to see more of these people's stuff, but your information of how you can impact them is not getting into their feed because they're not interacting back with you. So the big key to engagement is to engage for engagement. Now, the third practice you want to get into when it comes to building an audience is shake hands with everyone. So everyone that is commenting on your post, that is engaging with you, that is coming up in your inbox, you want to be acknowledging them, responding to them, being of service to them. And again, don't just respond to respond. How can you keep that conversation going so that you're creating engagement for engagement? That way, you're both going to continue to show up in each other's news feeds, keeping each other top of mind, you knowing how you can support them and them knowing how they're supported by you. Or there's even some people that you may want to keep in your news feed because they're someone that you follow and you really learn a lot from. So make sure that you're being very strategic and methodical with how you're going about connecting with people to grow your audience. Another really awesome, one of the best ways to go about growing your audience in 2020 is to be edified. Who can edify you? Who can interview you? Whose podcast can you get on? Whose blog post can you guest post for? Whose live Facebook group can you do a guest training in? One of my most recent students actually came from finding me through someone else's Facebook group that I did a guest training in. You would be so amazed at how much quicker you can grow your audience when you're not trying to do it on your own two shoulders. Again, there's people out there that have groups that are very congruent. The audiences are very congruent to what you would have to offer. And the thing is it doesn't even conflict. What they offer could be something completely different, but the service you offer would benefit that audience too. So how can you get into existing spaces, not only commenting and engaging, but getting edified by the people who run those spaces? It is one of the best things that you should have on your calendar on a monthly basis. Where are you showing up and getting edified by people who will put you in front of their audience because they believe in you and they know what you have to offer is awesome, and they're totally willing to put their stamp of approval on people connecting with you? It's powerful stuff. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm gonna say it until the cows come home. Build an email list. If you're not growing an email list, your audience is going to just sit on the social media interwebs. They're never going to really come into your space and into your hub and give you permission to create valuable resources and offers that they really want to learn more about and take advantage of. You want to have an email list. And it doesn't matter if you are a coach, a consultant, a network marketer, a brick and mortar, you want to have an email list. It is imperative that you create a main space where you can do transactions, you can keep people on up and up on what you're doing during your weeks and your months, current events, where they should be hanging out with you on social media. It's the main place you can start to drive that traffic to where you want them to go on the interwebs and really start to grow your social media accounts from the inside out, getting people on your list and then telling them, hey, I'm hanging out on Instagram, or hey, you should go check out my stories, or hey, I did a new YouTube video. You better believe that when I'm done recording this YouTube video, my email list is the first people that are going to get access to this, because they're the ones who give me the permission to send them all the things. So they're the VIP audience. They always get first dibs on everything that I do. They get early access, they get the first heads up, and that's something that you want to have in place. Now, I know a lot of people get stressed out about the tech, how to do it, and they stress out over that. Good news, I have an entire email series called Launch Your List. I'm gonna stick it up here for you so you can check it out. It's free. You do need a couple of tools, and I'll show you the exact tools that I use. You can use those, or you can use other tools. But literally, I'm gonna show you how to set up your email list in less than 60 minutes. So be sure to check out that series as soon as we're done here. Now, something I will say that I personally do, and I suggest that you do too, and it's a little against the grain of what other people say, I'm gonna tell you to diversify your social media platforms. Now look, I know that you really wanna focus on being on one platform, and you don't wanna try to be everywhere. Nowadays, I'm going to have to say, look, at this point with the major platforms, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have all these platforms, right? Now, ultimately, back in the day when Instagram was a smaller platform, not a lot of people were on it, go all in, because right now you can build a lot of momentum. It's easy to create that, create that growth really rapidly. Nowadays, you really want to diversify, because the platforms are so big. It's harder, it's more challenging to really put your stamp and maximize your growth on one platform. So here is what I always suggest. I've talked about this in other videos, is you want to have a place where you're creating your pillar content. Wherever that is, it should be a search engine platform. And then from there, you want to be promoting your content on other social media platforms, because you just never know. If you're building all your eggs in one social media basket, that could be risky. And you never know what's going to happen to that platform. So you want to make sure that you're kind of sprinkling things out. And I really truly look at social media platforms as the place to promote, not the place to create, the place to repurpose, the place to promote. And when you have pillar content in place on a pillar platform, like a podcast, a blog, or a YouTube channel, it makes it easier to, really cut down that content and sprinkle it onto the other social media platforms. So my biggest key for you when it comes to building your audience is to diversify your social media platforms and always be driving the traffic back to your pillar content. Which leads me to my next key, which is, what is your traffic driver? Put in the comments below, where are you committed to creating your pillar content? Are you on YouTube here? Are you blogging? Are you podcasting? You want to have that search-based engine platform so that you are consistently showing up, same place, same time, but you're showing up where people are actually searching for the information that you are creating, so that they not only find what they're looking for, they find you. You become discoverable. So I'd love to hear where you're currently hanging out and creating that pillar content. Be sure to comment below. And lastly, I highly suggest that you at some point start your own Facebook group community. It is such an amazing way to really invite people into getting into conversation that's relevant to who you serve, what you do, what you offer, and how you truly help people. If you can get out into other forums and other people's groups, that's awesome, but you want to have a place where they can all congregate. Yes, you want your email list, but also a place where you can have them diving into conversation with each other, networking, and creating a safe space for you to grow a community that's specific to your brand and your specific products and how you make an impact for that community. Now, I have an entire YouTube series I did on growing a Facebook group, getting to your first 1,000 members, so you can be sure to check that out. I never know what side I'm actually supposed to point to. I think it's backwards, so I'm gonna stay over here maybe. So be sure to check that out. And also, I do have an entire program that goes very, very deep into helping you turn your content into a profitable ecosystem as a coach, and how to actually create your offers and put them out there and create a system for enrolling new dream clients. It's called the Content Code, and I would love for you to check out the free masterclass I have tied to that to give you an overview of what my 5-step social selling process looks like. And by the end, you can actually check out that entire program. I'd love to have you come in as a content coder and be a student, so we can build out your entire ecosystem together. And with that being said, my friend, have a blessed day, keep the faith, impact the world, and I will see you soon. For the purpose of creating so the big